Guess who's back? Hey, LOCPODers.
For all those people that were just pining for you.
All three of them.
This studio for sure.
Yeah, all three of you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Lindsay couldn't wait to
The
get her
audience,
dad
not
back
so
in
much.
town.
I was so excited that you were coming back.
I haven't seen Lindsay in like 2 weeks. It's funny. The only
See how
place I
happy
see
she
her
is?
here.
Yep, having a real great time.
Man.
But yeah,
We are
back.
happy to have you back, though.
it seems
Belgium's,
like
let's hear it.
Belgium's top-rated podcast
Thank
for
you.
a reason, and you get what you pay for with this show. It's free, so you don't get much. You know what I'm saying?
I just realized I adjusted your level, Tom, for Forite.
Oh.
Because he always
So nobody could hear
pulls
him.
the mic
talking
away.
this,
yeah.
like with the arms
I had
out,
this
right.
maxed out, and then you get in. It's like, hello.
Guess who's back?
Well, one of the things we're going to talk about is your travels the last couple of weeks when we haven't had you. And I see you're wearing some of the garb, some of the merch,
Yeah.
some of the swag that you
there.
picked up on
Engine
the
3, Indianapolis Fire Department.
Move that mic. Let's see that.
I visited
right.
the fire union. It was
Yeah.
firemen, like International Firefighters Convention. A lot of Indy firefighters there. There was some Hammond firefighters there too. I didn't run into them, but I went through, and the guys from Station 3.
Show the back of that shirt.
Give me
I love
the
the back
shirt.
of that shirt. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you
You're awful bossy.
see that. I'm sorry. I have
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
Shamrock.
little Shamrock Engine 3.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
saying, like, the Hammond guys should do stuff for their stations.
I know. Why don't they?
Tom, can you rotate 360 for us? We want to get the whole.
You guys are like bossing me
You got
around.
to get the effect.
I don't take orders.
See what
very
happens when
well.
you're gone for 2 weeks? Or you
Yeah,
start
you're
bossing
like, turn
around?
around.
Strike a pose,
Let me see
man.
that shirt. Like, screw you, man.
One of the cool
That's
things
what I was
that-
like in the Navy, honestly. People
Yeah.
would tell me what to do, and I was,
So you're a little bit...
well, then I got out of the Navy. I was
That's
like,
what I mean.
You're
Like, I'm
like,
not taking
never
orders from
again.
anybody.
Don't be telling me what to do. I hated
Never
that shit.
again. Nobody will tell me what to do.
When I was in the Navy, I
Please
had this,
turn around and show
I had
that
this
t-shirt.
chief, and I hope he's listening because he's from Chicago. His name was Chief Crick. Okay,
Oh.
I hope he's listening because I hate this guy.
I like.
okay?
I already like the way this story's
Chief
going.
Crick, I hope you're listening, you old bastard. He's like freaking 90 right now, probably. But this guy didn't like me, and he was from Chicago. And I
Is
was
this on the sub?
Oh yeah, and like when I was on the sub, you have to understand when we were underwater, we were allowed to like let our hair grow. We were allowed to let
nice.
our, if you wanted to grow a beard or a
If
mustache.
you wanted to
it
be
was-
a hippie, you could be a hippie because you were stuck on a tube
Right.
underwater. With
Nobody could see you.
150 men.
So what was the rule like when you got back? You had to
yeah,
get
before you go topside, you have to get cleaned up again.
before
But-
topside.
Yeah,
Wow.
so like, but underway, they don't care if you have a beard down
Sure.
to your freaking belly button. It doesn't matter because you're underwater. But when you get home, clean up, right? So I clean up, and I get like, at the time, it was really fashionable for a guy. And just keep in mind, this is early 90s.
late 80s, early 90s. Right?
And it was a really cool haircut if you got your head shaved like low and then you left the top hair long. You know,
I
what I'm saying?
remember.
I forgot what that was called, but
Mullet.
no,
no, I'm
it's
saying like it would be shaved, Lindsay, like all the way, like on the lower
Oh,
part. It's like a bowl
reverse
cut.
mullet.
like a mop.
So you
top or
sort of, yeah, it's like a mop top, but it's like when your hair hangs down,
Right.
it's like hanging down over like a
over
shaved
your
head,
eyes. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I pulled one of those, and we would get away with murder because like I would take my hair and I'd slick it back and I put it underneath my hat, so it looked like I had a good military haircut.
Yeah.
And as soon as I took that hat off, man, my hair would fall down and I'd look like a punk rocker.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool.
That's what it reminded me of, punk rock
Right.
kind of haircut. Yeah.
So like I
New
get one of
wave.
these cuts, and like in Navy regulations for haircuts were like off the neck had to be shaved, off the ears had to be above the ears,
Off
not
the neck
touching.
had to be shaved.
Right, shaved in the
Okay.
back, and then off the ears so that no hair is touching the ears. Like right now, I would have unsat hair, right?
Oh wow.
And so like I was like, zoom, like totally clean, except for like when I took off
Under your
my
hat.
it would fall
Look at
down.
you.
So anyway, Chief
Breaking
Craig.
the rules.
So like
Rebel.
I took my hat off at Chow one day, and my hair fell down, and Chief Crick was an asshole. He was just Chiefs were a pain in the freaking ass in the Navy. They were the officers I could deal with because they were college grads and they were like comfortable in their own skin. The Chiefs, in my opinion, were just jerks. They were like,
These are like the lifer guys. These are the guys that are in.
the lifers. They're the ones that are peculiar about the rules. They're the ones that are like vindictive, and they like, hey, screw you.
Or
buddy.
this is how I.
I was in E5.
I could
one
show you
day.
my power.
I could freaking force you to do stuff just because I'm a chief. Those
Right,
guys
right.
freaking made me insane because I didn't like taking orders, especially bullshit orders. Okay. So, and it's not like we're at war and they're like, say, hey, go storm that trench. You know, it's nothing like that. It's like, hey, McDermott, your hair's a little long on top. I'm like, it's off the ears. It's off the neck, chief. It's perfect. And he's like, no, it's fashionable. And you're not supposed to have a fashionable. He called it faddish. It's faddish. It's not faddish. And then I put my hat on and I left, right? Yeah. He's like, McDermott, and this is in front of like 25, 30 people in the mess hall. He's like, I want your haircut before tomorrow morning. I'm like, he wasn't even my chief. I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you, chief. And I go back to the engine room, which is where I worked. He was a coner, we called him. Right? He's from the forward part of the ship. Coners, you're in the cone. I'm a nuke because I'm in the engine room, right? So I'm like, oh, screw you, man. So
Can't
I go,
tell me what to do, old man.
right? You're not even my chief. Go freaking
Because
F
he's
yourself.
up front.
You're
Right.
not my dad.
Go F yourself. And
Go F
I didn't say
yourself.
it, right? So I'm like, yeah, later, chief. Talk to you later, right? So this guy, he's not even a nuke. He comes back to the engine room, talks to my chief, and he's like, I want McDermott to get a haircut. He's a freaking asshole, going out of his way just to be a dick to me, right? And I'm like, chief, and I'm talking to my chief. I'm like, my hair is off my ears, my hair is off my neck. It's perfect. And then he takes it down. And he like pulls my hair down. My chief's doing this. He pulls it down. My hair is like below my nose, right? He's like, this is a fashionable haircut. And they're like, you got to get a haircut. Because my chief was an asshole, too, being honest with you. So I have an asshole
But
chief.
not as
He's
big of
teaming
an
up with the
asshole
other
chief as
half.
the other.
They're both assholes, especially when they get together.
Team up, right?
So these two asshole chiefs, Chief Hemphill, I don't know if he's with us anymore. I hope he's listening. Because this guy, both these chiefs made my life hell. And they're like, McDermott, you got to get a haircut. And I'm like, there ain't no fucking way I'm getting a haircut. I hate to break it to you guys. My hair is off my ears. My hair is off my neck.
So what happened?
I didn't get a haircut.
Wow.
So like they threatened to take me to captain's mess, which is like the ultimate punishment. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to get freaking written up. I'm going to lose a stripe over my goddamn haircut, right? And it was really a standoff.
Would it have been worth it?
No, probably not. Because you were a
there goes
baby.
the pay.
We would have lost money. You would have had, you would have been starving.
He'd have been an orphan. He'd have been giving you up.
Yep, he'd have
Like,
just
well,
like-
we got to get rid of Lindsay. She's
toss
so
her
gone.
But
to
I'm
the
not cutting
ocean.
my hair.
I am not cutting my hair. I'm like, screw
We lost
you
Lindsay,
guys.
but I'm not cutting my hair. I did not cut my
My
hair.
hair looks great.
I had to uphold the standard. So anyway, as it turns out, I had one ace in my pocket because one of my watch stations was I stood watch during maneuvering watch on the bridge, which is above water on the sail, and I stood watch with the captain of the ship,
Nice.
who loved me.
There you go.
He picked me to be out of all the guys on the ship.
You
he picked
jumped
me to
rank.
be
You
his-
like, all right, Captain.
No,
All right,
no.
Chief,
I
so I'm
mean,
gonna
I
go
didn't.
talk to the
I
captain.
wasn't banking on the trump card. I was just like, freaking screw you guys. My hair is perfect. Go F yourself. You're just trying to be vindictive.
So what was the conversation with the captain?
The captain didn't want to bust me because he liked me.
Wow.
And he like sort of intervened and he asked me nicely, would you please get your haircut and satisfy these pricks? I mean, he was basically like, these two guys are assholes. They're like putting me in an awkward spot as captain.
Right.
Petty Officer McDermott, would you really get your haircut just like I get a trim or something like that? So I got a trim
For the captain.
for the captain.
Because you respected him.
Because he liked me and I liked him. He was a nice man. And it was sort of like I could respect him because he was educated and he was, but I was like, yes, sir, I'll get it. And I got literally like a half inch. And the Chiefs were pissed because they were like, this guy totally freaking jumped rank. And I was just like, I got my hair.
You can't beat. See, the locomotive is back. You can't beat the sea story.
Sea stories are great, right?
I'm constantly
You
entertained.
never heard
by
that
them.
one.
I
Chief
have
Crick,
not.
if you're listening, Chief Crick from Chicago,
You're
I
great.
remember you. I remember Chief Crick
Like he
and
has
Chief
not
Hemphill.
forgotten.
Chief Hemphill made my life hell too. Because I wasn't like a handy person.
No.
I didn't like grow up with
No.
in a shop with like tools.
Not either.
So I get sent to the sub and like my job is to fix shit
Yeah.
when I get there. And I literally don't even really know how to use a wrench. And Chief Hemphill was disgusted with me. He was like, hey, go get me this ratchet set. And I'm like,
what's a ratchet set?
Right, go get me like a 5/8. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you don't even know what a 5/8 is? He was like one of those guys. What kind of shit is this? I'm getting sent a guy that doesn't know what a 5/8 is. And I'm
You're
like
like 18.
destroyed. Like
Right.
I'm like the worst sailor in history, right? By the way, I turned out to be a total badass. Like
Yeah.
I was like one of the top electricians in my division.
Just give Tom McDermott a little time.
Right?
Yeah.
This guy is literally my first day. I'm a freaking kid. I don't even shave. I like have pubicle hairs coming out of my lip, right? And he's yelling
Pubicle.
at me. Well, it's not
Pubicle
pubicle.
hair.
Literally.
There's
It's
the title.
a pubicle stash, right?
Honestly, Tom, when
I
you
was-
started this story, I thought you were going to say, Chief Crick, I hope you're listening because you made a
I
good
miss you.
impression on
Nope.
my life. I
Chief
want to
Crick.
give you a shout out.
No.
No, it's Chief Crick. You're
Screw
probably
you.
still an
You
asshole.
just
He is.
lambasted
He
this
is.
guy for 10 minutes.
So
this
like
poor
Chief
guy.
Crick, if you're listening, also he missed ship's movement one time. Why don't you see a double standard? When you're in a Navy,
You know, this is like Tom getting all his Navy shit out. It's like,
I
am
know.
gonna.
I hope
this
he's
is it.
listening. I hope he's listening. So if you miss ship's movement, you're basically dead meat.
What's ship's movement?
When the ship, so let's say you pull into a port and they're like, we're leaving tomorrow at 10 o'clock. If you are not on the boat,
So it's like you're missing your flight.
but you're like missing your sub, which is
Which is your job.
This is your job. You're like, and you missed the whole thing. Like you have to meet
So like
him
if
in
you're
the
out
next
for
port.
45 days,
Dude, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in Bermuda.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
And
Nice,
like
not a bad place to go to port.
I ended up sleeping in a castle that night. This is
All
a
right.
long story, but I'm
We'll
not going to
get-
go there.
that's season
It's
7.
a good story. It's a good story, but we'll go there some other time. So I'm sleeping in a castle. We barely make it back to the ship in time because I didn't anticipate staying in a castle, and it was a little further out, right?
Who does when you
Right?
pull into Bermuda?
So we're all flowing into the ship. I literally, like 5 minutes before it leaves, I come running on, like, like made it, like, yeah, right? And then we start pulling away, and everybody's like, Chief Crick didn't make it. And I'm like, yes, he's such a prick. I'm like, he's going to be in so much trouble,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they end up, like, to cover up for him, they gave him leave.
Come
Like it
on.
was on purpose.
Wow.
And I'm like, total double standard. If I ever missed ship's movement,
There wouldn't have been
my
like,
ass
give
would have been
McDermott
rung up.
leave.
No, I would have been rung up
Yeah.
unless the captain saved me. Because
How
the
do you get
captain
back
did
on
like
the
me.
sub?
He met us at the next port. So
How
he
do
had
they,
to, like,
but how do you do that? Like, how do you get from
fly.
like Bermuda
Oh, I
to?
flew him out
you
there.
fly because when you're in the
Amsterdam
military,
or
you don't need a
something.
passport as long as you have a military ID, and we always had our military
So
ID.
you just meet the ship somewhere
You just
else.
like bounce to the next. And if we were in Bermuda, it wasn't long. Probably we were probably only gone a week. He probably had to burn a week's leave, meet us in Florida or something like that, and he did.
all
But
right.
he got saved. So Chief Crick, I remember you, Chief Crick, and you made me cut my hair.
I love
And
this.
I didn't
Crick's
like it.
crazy night. in
I didn't
Bermuda.
like it.
The locomotive's back. All right,
Yes.
let's do some ads. Then
All
we're
right,
going
let's
to come
do some
back. We're going
ads.
to talk about Tom's travels, where he's been missing us.
I want to hear this castle story.
Oh,
to
it's
be honest
coming.
with you.
We're going to put it on
Oh, that was a
next
good story.
episode, John.
The castle story
Let's
is a good
tease
story.
it.
The
for
sea
next
stories
episode.
begin.
I slept in a castle in Bermuda, and I was not supposed to. I was in a hotel.
Don't give it away.
It's a
Oh
good
my
story.
God.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
That
you're
was,
back.
with
Why don't you
Greg
lead us
Poulos.
off?
My buddy Greg Poulos, Navy guy, rung the bell at the New York Stock Exchange the other day with his new company.
There's all kinds of sea stories coming up.
I know all kinds of people. Anyway, it's great to be back, everybody. I missed you. I listened to LOCPOD while I was gone.
Thank you.
I thought you guys did a really good job. First
Thank
off,
you.
to Johnny Cantrell.
Did great.
Dude, he's a great fill-in.
John's great.
Do we all agree on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lynn, right?
I don't know. He seemed a little tired. Like he was a little
I thought
out of his element.
I thought John brought his freaking A game.
I thought he was funny
Well, he was
too.
complimenting you throughout, so that
Yeah.
was one thing he was doing that
Well,
I'm sure you
maybe
liked.
that's probably why
You're
I
like,
liked
man,
it."
John was great. All those compliments about me.
He's all like,
And he's my law partner. I don't remember all those compliments.
Well, if he's listening now, he's not coming back because Lindsay's like, I don't know. He was out of his element.
I don't
Tired.
I didn't think he was.
He was
I
tired.
think he's like the.
Looked like a bum.
You know, on this podcast, I've gotten really used to like being funny is associated with high energy, and he was funny but like really calm. But I
That's
guess
John,
that's
though.
lawyer thing.
Yeah,
that's
you
John.
know?
That's
He's
his
a
It was
killer.
just something
Killer.
I wasn't used
He's an
to.
assassin.
He is an assassin with that. But if John had his druthers, my campaign logo would be a marijuana leaf.
I think that was pretty obvious.
He's
Since he
like,
was
you're going to win on
Everybody
this issue.
needs to go over and try an edible.
Dude, I know. It's so funny. Try the food tastes better. You'll
was like-
sleep better. It's like,
Man,
John
John.
is like the advocate. He
Yes.
should get hired as a lobbyist for the weed industry.
Maybe that's what
I
he's
think
trying to
he would
do.
love
It
it.
was like an interview.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's do some ads. We got to come back. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about Mayor Tom's travels. We're going to remind everybody to get out and vote. We've got a new segment of LOCPOD coming up soon, and we're going to talk about this student loan thing. So
We got a new segment.
yeah, just read the ads.
All
We're
right,
never going to
let's
get
go.
through this. Okay,
New
Dr. Forright.
segment.
Misprint. By the way, when Forright came on, goddamn ads took like a half hour.
Oh, man. That was-
I think it was longer, but who's counting?
He's like misprint, and then he ends up talking about like Venezuela. It's like
Venezuela or like a Tai Chi master.
Tai Chi master. It's like what the hell? Like,
And you're like, and it's like, what about? Oh yeah, back to Rick.
oh yeah, misprint. Yeah. Misprint. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions. Rick Baltensberger and his team have served the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana markets for over 30 years, and they have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond. That's
So
Misprint.
on the road, Mayor Tom tells me, "Hey, can you get a hold of Rick? I lost my metal business card."
no.
This is the
handed
one
it
that has the
out.
old address.
This is
I'm gonna-
So Rick. So I text Rick, and the emoji I get back because Rick loved doing this so much because he was like,
Oh, no. It
I
took
had to
him-
work on this thing. The emoji he sends back is that like
Scream?
scared,
Yeah.
the scared face emoji.
Oh, yeah, the Van Gogh.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this temporary one.
Somebody took it.
So
and is using
no,
it as a
that's
weapon
for the
somewhere.
studio. He said next week you'll have some.
Okay.
So
What do you think someone's doing with that metal business card?
I don't know if
right
it
now?
fell out of my
Breaking into
pocket or if
houses.
somebody stole it. I don't know.
I doubt anyone stole it. They probably just maybe
I think
gave
it
it to
fell
him on
out of my
accident, or
pocket.
somebody wanted to show somebody something and forgot to give it back to you.
Yeah,
It'll
something
come
happened.
back.
But
Well, now
by the
you're
way,
gonna
I
have
made
a
it
new
a long
logo,
time
though.
with that logo.
Yeah, you did.
We should have, honestly, Rick, you
It's
should
going to
have
be
like
multiple.
6.
Don't worry. He's
Yeah.
doing multiple.
You should have 6. Make sure
Yes.
it goes to the right place.
So
too, you know
go
what I'm
to
saying?
go to Misprint and get your
Sharpen
metal
the
business
edges and we
cards.
can throw it if we
Yeah,
need a
sharpen
weapon.
That would
edges
be
so it-
awesome, Lindsay. I can't believe we didn't think
Yeah,
of
it just
that.
cuts through your suit. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's like a
Perfect. Great idea.
ninja throwing star.
Ninja
Yeah.
throwing star.
Why does Tom have holes in his pants?
Dude, that's a perfect defensive weapon. My
Yeah,
daughter just
nobody
came
would
up with.
suspect it.
It's like if I'm like,
Yeah, and then you
like
also
right in your throat.
Yeah, and you're also like showing someone the card and they get cut. These are great ideas for the campaign trail.
It starts rusting.
Freaking
Hey
lawyers always
man,
coming
we're
up
not
with
thinking that
innovative.
far in the future. We're
I
just
like
thinking
Lindsay's idea the
self-defense,
best.
okay?
Tortillas Nuevo Leon
Did Tom just kill somebody with his metal
is the
business
gold
card?
standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise. Eli saw him on Tuesday. Didn't we, John?
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia. De todo corazón.
Saw Rep Andrade and Eli on Tuesday, and Rep Andrade told a great story about using Tortillas Nuevo Leon at a tailgate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He's going to be our guest on Tuesday,
Tuesday, May 3rd.
along with the special guest at the beginning of the show.
All right, who could that be? Lindsay, how about the next ad?
Oh goodness.
Was that
Perfect
like a
timing.
Yes,
question?
Yes,
And,
that was a,
was a
it was
leading
kind of a
question.
little bit of a
Prelude.
Question,
Yeah.
no time to
Question.
answer.
Here you go,
Next
Linz.
ad.
Let me help you out.
Yeah,
Since
hand
you're
that
so
over.
wide awake
well,
and
last
ready.
week you gave me the paper, but I have it in text.
You didn't
form.
memorize it yet?
No.
In a way,
Come
I
on.
thought she's a thespian. She'll just know it.
What'd you call my daughter?
Thespian.
I'm a married woman. Okay. In second grade, she was the youngest violinist in the Guggenheim Elementary School Orchestra. And in 1988, she took first place at State National History Day for her moving rendition of Theodore Roosevelt at San Juan Hill.
Who is this sexy
In
woman?
1993, while other kids were talking about children, while other kids were busy moshing at raves, she was busy writing research papers and reading Horse Illustrated.
That's my wife.
When it comes to electing a circuit court judge, don't you want somebody who was wearing glasses way before it was cool? This May 3rd, vote for a nerd, Marissa McDermott for Lake Circuit Court Judge, paid for by the committee to re-elect Judge Marissa McDermott.
She is a nerd,
Yeah,
but I am too. That's the funny thing.
Eh.
I'm a cool
Something
nerd.
attractive about
you're
nerds.
a jockey nerd.
You're always
I am-
reading a book, Tom.
I dig nerds. I do read.
We're in Vegas. You're
Tremendously.
sitting there reading a book.
I read a lot.
Yeah.
I was reading The Immortal Irishman. That was a good book.
You
Real
talked about
good.
that book.
Yeah, it was
on
about
the
a
air.
dude that went through a lot. Like a lot.
That's a good way. It's like the subtitle, "The Dude That Went Through a Lot."
Dude that went through a lot. Irish dude that went through a lot.
Who
Nearly-
else is reading something cool?
I'm reading just the news right now, man.
I am not
That
reading a
sounds
book
depressing.
currently.
I read gobs of news. That's all I read now. I stopped reading books. I'm just really reading gobs of news.
The
I'm
news stresses
reading.
me
I'm
out.
reading little by little. I'm reading Werpel's book. So
Oh, yeah? I got to
yeah.
get on that.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
I
Nearly
know
10.
Warple. Like, I got a PhD in Warple.
Yeah, you know him. The stories are good though. Nearly 10 years in the making. Bud Light Next. Calumet Brewing's, or I should say, Bud Light's first zero-carb beer is the result of a brewing breakthrough, making the impossible possible. Super crisp and refreshing, Bud Light Next is a light lager with 4% ABV and brewed with the highest quality ingredients while containing only 80 calories, 0 grams of sugar, and 0 carbs. Here's to what's next. Head over to calbrew.com for more information. Cheers with beers.
So I'm at the VFW in Carroll County last night talking to the
Oh.
Democrats.
Where's Carroll
Delphi?
County?
Delphi. Good job, John.
Yeah, man.
Delphi.
Delphi.
Just east of White County.
Oh.
Still don't know
Basically,
where that is.
head down to West Lafayette, hit the windmills, turn east.
So
go
421
over one county.
or
421 over one
18
county.
So
or
by
something like that.
Monticello.
Yeah.
Oh, you say
Real
that
close.
so.
Monticello.
They don't
like
say it like
limoncello.
that.
Isn't that
They
where
don't say it
Thomas
like that in
Jefferson lived?
Indiana, Lindsay.
Isn't that where Thomas
Monticello.
Jefferson lived? Monticello.
That's like in, yeah, I was going to say, Lindsay's so,
Did you know that?
blue
That was
blood,
Thomas Jefferson's
Virginia.
house.
Yeah.
Why don't we have house names anymore? I should name my house.
Monticello.
Do you know how I know that
Monticello.
though?
What
Crook.
do you mean, like
It was in Hamilton.
Castle
Chief Crick.
McDermott?
Yeah, no, like they said. They
named
in
Mount
the
their
day-
Vernon.
estates.
Mount Vernon. Monticello.
I'm going to name my house.
All right.
All right, I'm going to work on this.
It's too highbrow
And
for
whatever
Hammond.
whatever I come up with is going to be changed by Marissa McDermott.
Yeah.
Because
Why don't you just let her choose it?
that's the way I usually go. I'll be honest with
Yeah,
you.
let's cut out the middleman, which is you, and just let her.
Because whatever I come up with will not be right. But anyway, I was
House
in
pubicle.
I was in Carroll County,
Shea Pubicle.
and I don't drink a lot, by the way. So like I've really like gone away from drinking I drink socially to make other people feel comfortable. But last night I'm in
good
there.
to know.
I'm at a VFW and I see this guy in front of me with one of those frosty mugs of beer, and I'm like, "Damn, that
I want
looks
one
good."
of those.
Because they were eating the pork tenderloin. They were doing the whole Indiana thing.
Nice.
And they had this frosty mug of beer, and I'm like, "Damn, that looks
If
good."
it was like 85 degrees.
And the guy's like, "Do you want a frosty mug of beer?" I'm like, "What kind do you have?" And he goes,
asked
"We
you
only
that?
have Michelob Ultra." And I'm
Oh.
like, "Get the hell out of here! That's one of my sponsors."
I'm on it.
So I'm like, "Give me some Michelob Ultra."
See, you're like, you
Frosty.
want me to read the ad?
Blah, 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 blah,
Taking a
blah.
photo of that.
Dude, it was so
You
good.
should have taken a pic.
By the way, I'm not a beer drinker that much, but you cannot beat a frosty mug of beer, right?
On a hot day, I agree with you.
It wasn't even that hot, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just something about like, your hands going through
It's
the
such a
ice.
classic, like VFW in the middle of Indiana.
Frosty
mug, like Michelob Ultra.
I was so
That's
happy.
all we have.
Plus, that was my last road trip for the
Yes.
primary campaign.
Well, let's get into that after we get through our ads.
All
See,
right.
now
That
that's
Steve
how you
keeps
do an ad.
What's that? Yeah.
It was like a non-ad ad.
It was a non-ad ad. But then when we talk
beautiful.
about doing the non-ad ad, it totally ruins the whole non-ad vibe, John.
Yeah, it's true.
We're supposed to be
You're not supposed to tell everyone it's a non-ad ad, John.
Right.
Executive Suites 2. Executive Suites
Dos.
Dos. My
Whoa.
freaking man.
Whoa.
Give me some of that. Bam.
Pickles.
What is that?
Pickles,
That's-
jinx, whatever you
it's
like to do.
We're like brothers from another mother. We just think
Mind
alike.
meld.
By the way, I got Wordle in 3 today. Back
Don't say anything.
back off.
That's
Yeah.
the word.
I
By
still-
the way, Kevin's been doing Wordle
Oh, here
at
we
like 10
go.
o'clock at night.
No, not. I always have been doing it.
I
that
think
way.
it's bullshit. I'll
I
be
haven't
honest
played
with you.
Wordle
I'm
in
just
like
putting-
2 months.
That assumes that I'm looking at the Wordle chat. I'm not.
Kevin is looking at the Wordle chat, okay, and then he gets an idea
No, I
about
don't.
how hard it is.
Not
Because
true.
yesterday's everybody's like 5,
Not true.
6, 5,
5,
5, and then Kevin's like, I got to use X's and Z's and
Not
stuff
true.
today. I don't.
I don't
believe it.
like what I'm hearing.
No.
Kevin.
My
So,
second,
John,
my
I
second word
think
yesterday was pesto. I got it at right.
I think the because you were. But
No,
anyway, I have a new rule in Wordle. I put it out last night. I wasn't accepted by Kevin. I said no Wordle accounts after 8 p.m.
Well, that's like saying I have a habit of doing my Wordle because I'm usually at work.
Do it
Well,
in the
you're
morning.
up doing Wordle.
I do Wordle first thing in the morning.
I know you do, and I'm getting ready for work, and I go to work early. So I like
What
to
are you
do it when
saying?
I'm relaxing.
I'm not working, huh? That's what
I
you're
You
saying.
know,
Not
He's
at 6 in the
implying.
morning.
In regards to the Wordle like chat, Dad is a totalitarian dictator. He makes the rules and nobody has to vote on it. It's
Ours is
decided.
no chat.
No, yeah, like
It's not a
enforced
democracy
mostly
there.
by Jana. Jana's like no
And me,
unnecessary
I'm like,
chat.
no chat.
No chat. Executive Suites Dos.
He's pissed about 4 doing half-hour ads. We're losing our viewers. I mean, they're gone. We're at like
They've
10.
gone up. Executive Suites Dos. Executive Suite Squared, commonly known as ES2, is a first-class executive office environment located on 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. ES2 offers flexible membership plans that provide the privacy of dedicated, fully furnished offices with 24/7 secured access. For more information on their basic or private office membership packages or to rent one of their state-of-the-art conference rooms, call them at 219-844-2901 or visit them at executivesuites2.com.
Grisolia's Concrete was voted was voted number 1 in the Times Best of the Region 2020 and 2021. Grisolia's Concrete specializes in all concrete projects, and they've been using the original cement finish in the
California style.
since 1972. They also offer stamped and colored concrete. Call now 219-659
knows how to party.
4147 219-659-4147 to get your project lined up for this summer. Grisolia's Concrete.
City of Camden. All right,
We're back. Let's
Hey,
talk. Let's talk
speaking
about
of back.
Yes,
my office is back in full steam. Finally.
Yes,
We've been operating at reduced capacity in my office for the past couple months.
due to some babies being
Very
born.
fertile
Dude.
office.
My
Yes.
office is like all pregnant. All,
Not anymore.
Now it's like all breast pumps.
Yes, I was over there yesterday.
Dude, multiple breast
Yes.
pumps, like all over.
Yes.
I'm like walking to breast pump.
I came out of a meeting. I walked over to Eva, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm sorry." And she's like, "Oh, that's okay. I'm just double pumping." I was like, "Okay, just gonna keep going here, Eva." She's like, "Oh, that's all right, Kevin. No big deal."
I was running out of cream the other day. I was wondering.
Oh,
No.
man.
No.
Title of the episode: I was running out of cream the other day.
Eva, could you help me out here?
Oh, that's terrible. But no, she was. Eva,
I do like my coffee with
Eva
cream.
and
I mean,
Alex
okay.
both had babies 6 days. It's babies 6 days apart.
Yeah. But so like
And they're
now
both gone.
We're both pumping now simultaneously, and I wonder
it's going on.
is there like do you have like initials on
waiver?
your breast
Oh.
pump? Like because like I don't think exchanging breast pumps would be.
I'm sure they know
sanitary.
whose is whose.
Really? They should be like color coded or something.
Maybe they are.
I don't know.
Or maybe they each have different brands.
All I know is the motors were running yesterday in that office.
Yeah, they're
it's
humming.
The
Hey,
lights were dimming in
they're
City Hall.
moms, and they need to provide for their children.
And I said, Eva, is that all for your baby? And she's like, oh yeah, she'll drink.
I'm
all
like,
this.
why is my computer screen going dim?
We're pumping
You're like,
milk? It is quite a thing.
By the way, so Eva, if you'll remember correctly, really the last time we were talking about Eva on this show, we were going by the codename Lisa.
Yes.
And she was on Bumble.
Yes.
So I would say Bumble worked out
Bumble
pretty
worked.
well. Yeah, right?
Lisa got pregnant.
She got
Bumble
pregnant.
worked.
So, ladies and gentlemen, get on Bumble. You'll have a baby within like a year. It's been proven through
Now,
my unofficial studies.
It may be because like she, maybe her boyfriend got a little jealous and he wanted her back.
Bumble worked.
And it worked.
Bumble worked.
Wait, are you implying she was on Bumble while she had a boyfriend?
No.
No, they were on a break.
No, not
yeah.
even, not Lisa. Trust me.
Not-
No, Lisa wouldn't do that.
No,
she
but-
doesn't roll
Lisa's
like that.
a classy lady.
Lisa's not going to roll like that.
But
I
maybe
think
once
Bumble
he
Lisa's a
heard,
saint.
once he heard she
Don't
was on
worry,
Bumble, he's
Lisa.
like,
I'm going to
man,
defend your honor here.
Yeah,
I don't
that
like
means
this.
LOCPOD had something to do with this.
it's like a LOCPOD baby.
Can you?
There should be like a middle name.
That's our sponsor.
Middle name LOCPOD.
LOCPOD. Please.
The poor kid.
Poor Eva. All right. I mean, Lisa.
Lisa.
Poor
But now
Lisa.
she's got a little baby that's so. Actually, we should post a picture of those babies.
Yeah,
we need pictures.
I
you guys.
mean, we do have some
Yeah.
They're like
responsibility
the
for
mayor
this.
office, like
we want pictures of.
mascots.
So
Eva,
Pete,
yes.
So Pete
Good job,
and Eva,
Lens.
got things patched up after we did the Lisa shows and the Bumble shows.
Next thing
and
you know,
bam,
baby.
pregnant.
Wow.
Bam. And then
Bam.
Alex, bam, pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm like, my whole damn office is pregnant. And then I'm looking at Sharon like, no pressure.
Sharon's like,
Like,
these girls got pregnant.
and so like, if Sharon gets pregnant, then my whole office would have been pregnant at the same time.
That'd have been trouble.
Yeah.
I'd have been looking at you like,
The
what?
emergency assistant was Kevin Smith. He was going to be
It was
filling in.
not, and that would not have been a good deal.
Bam, Kevin pregnant.
Yeah, that would have been.
That would have
That
been
would have been terrible.
But we are at full steam in my office, and I'm proud to say we're back.
So
Back in business.
Let's talk about your travels. As
It was
we
a
motor
lot.
on here.
So basically, I missed 2 shows. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Nope.
I did.
I
I
noticed.
did not notice.
I know. I didn't think you would.
I was
but
sitting here on my birthday solo until 4-8 walked in 5 minutes late.
It was very sad. I saw that picture of you crying in here by yourself.
Happy
was
birthday to
Happy
me.
belated, by the way.
On Maritime. Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the 5-3.
Thank you.
Thanks. I've been hanging out here. It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, so
6
far.
weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, I missed 2 shows. We knew I was going to miss 2 shows. We didn't talk about it. But like it was very well warranted. The travels I've done over the last week have been extensive. So this is literally since I walked off the air last Tuesday to today. This is what I did, and it's
Can you give me, if I said in one word or a couple words, what would you say about the Indiana you've experienced over the last
I've
2
seen the
weeks?
whole state
Like good,
north-
bad, great, good people.
Oh my God, it's
You're s-
amazing. Like I'm meeting mostly with Democrats right now, and we're very well. There's a lot of really good energy coming from the party. They're very focused on Todd Young, just like I am. So I find my response has been great.
All right. Where you been?
Okay, I started off Wednesday. Okay, now I'm giving you dates. So like I got off the air on Tuesday. So Wednesday I have to go down to Indy for the weed tour. The Marion County not the Marion County. This is the Indiana State Democratic Party put together a cannabis tour. This is 420 day. The first conference was going to be in Indy at a VFW.
And we had you on Skype that morning.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I have to go down to Marion County and back because that night I have Mayor's Night Out in Hammond. So think about that. We all know. So I do my job in the morning, cruise down to Indy, do a press conference in Indy, cruise back, do Mayor's Night Out, and then have to drive to Fort Wayne.
And are the
that same
people on the
night.
tour, are they the same in Indy as they were in Fort Wayne?
Yeah,
Or-
so
okay.
the people on the tour. So in Indy, it was the Marion County prosecutor, Ryan Mayers.
Who's been a LOCPOD guest before.
And he's freaking awesome. He's going to get reelected.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to helping him. A Republican state senator, Jim Merritt, who some say is contemplating a run for governor in 2 years. So he's on the stage also pushing for legalization of marijuana. We have
with the state Democratic Party, so that's
with the
interesting.
So we had all 3 parties on there. there. We had the head of the Libertarian Party in Indiana at that stop.
So all three parties are represented. That's interesting. That's
right.
great.
Wow.
We have a guy named
On the
Jeff
issue.
Piper, who's a veteran. He was on the tour with us. So Jeff and I were on multiple stops together. Shelley and Jason Straw. Jason Straw is the head of NORML, which is it's the marijuana
Like the state
advocate.
marijuana.
Yeah,
marijuana.
NORML is to basically reform marijuana laws. He's the head of NORML and an Air Force veteran, by the way. And his wife Shelley is a nurse that's trained in cannabinoids and cannabinoids in the system that we have.
Interesting.
And they're both wonderful people. I was on with them all stops with those two. Destiny Scott Wells, my
LOCPOD guest.
my ticket mate, soon to be ticket mate, veteran and friend. She was on most of the stops with us. And then Drew Anderson, who put the whole thing together, he's the state party communications director.
Yeah,
he was
awesome.
on every stop with us, so he was just as tired as all of us. And then each stop we went to, we had local elected officials that were there with us.
Was the chairman ever there?
A chairman was there often. Mike Schmuel, you mean?
Yeah.
Mike Schmuel was not at the weed stops, but he's going to be in Indiana today for a stop we're doing here, and Hammond today, actually. But Mike wasn't doing the stops with us. But we went around. I'll go through it. So anyway, every stop we go to has TV cameras. Every stop we go to has local media there.
It's interesting, right? Because there's so. I think you've said it on LOCPOD before, Mayor, that there are 7 different media markets, TV media markets.
Let's go through them.
I'm sure you hit them. Go ahead with your travels.
We go through with Fort Wayne has a media market. South Bend has a media market.
Did you do both those as
Chicago
stops?
has a media market. Indy has a media
Yeah.
market. Cincinnati has a media market. Evansville has a media market. And Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean,
7.
expensive to run in Indiana because you have to buy ads in all those media markets. So anyway, we start off the first afternoon, Wednesday afternoon. I'm in the VFW in Indy. I drive down there Wednesday afternoon, do a 1-hour stop, drive back. I have a driver. Smitty was driver that day. I get back to Hammond, do Mayor's Night Out. Mayor's Night Out's 2 hours of, I'm dealing with constituent problems on TV, so I have to be on my A game, right? I do Mayor's Night Out, and I have to drive. Now, Mayor's Night Out lets out at 8:30. I've already driven to and from Indy and did a half a day of work. Now I have to drive to Fort Wayne because I have an early morning press conference in Fort Wayne. So I drive to Fort Wayne, 3-hour drive from here, get there at midnight, crash, wake up the next morning, do a Fort Wayne, do the cannabis stop in Fort Wayne with the local elected officials, same crew I talked about earlier. Then I do call time in Fort Wayne, drive an hour and a half to South Bend, do another press conference there. This is still Wednesday, and I'm blurred already, right? I get to drive home, and I'm just completely wiped because of the previous 2 days. Wake up on Thursday, do a cannabis stop in no. Wake up Friday, butt crack at dawn. Have to drive to West Lafayette for early morning press conference there. And then from there, I drive to New Albany, which is basically Louisville.
Southeast.
Right? Do a press conference there. I get dropped off by my driver in New Albany like a divorced kid. Like I get dropped off with my bags in a parking lot. I get scooped up by my so Smitty drives me to that one also. Then he turns around and drives home. I'm in New Albany with my bags. I get scooped up by my campaign manager, Zach. And then he takes me after the press conference in New Albany. He takes me to Ohio County where I'm the keynote speaker for the JJ.
Oh, and JJ is like an annual dinner for each county Democratic Party. And Ohio County's real tiny and rural. And to me, it was kind of your first rural stop, which I thought was pretty interesting. And also, that's Rising
Not
Sun.
my first rural stop.
No, I mean, maybe at a... Oh, no, you're right, because North Vernon probably was your...
We've done
that
some.
was
Yeah,
like
North
September.
Vernon, right. So anyway, Ohio County.
Rising Sun.
But by the way, Ohio County had 70, 80 people there.
That's
so
cool.
I'm keynote speaker there. Give a good speech, I thought. And then Zach drops me off in Cincinnati like a divorced kid. Drops me off at the crappiest hotel Kevin could find. We probably costed
Close to the hotel. Close to the airport,
$29.95 at night, something like that.
Close to the airport.
Yeah.
Hourly rentals.
Walkable.
Hourly rentals. It was like a truck stop with a Marriott. It was literally like a truck stop. It was close to the airport, though.
Yeah, see? Didn't have to
Just
Uber to the
flying
airport.
over. I'm like, do not ever put me at the freaking airport again. So
He was crabby.
So I flew home that day. I was definitely crabby.
Next morning.
And by the way, I'd already missed one LOCPOD show by then. So Saturday morning, I crash. I'm just wiped. Sunday, I go to Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church with Marissa, campaigning on Sunday still. We've been doing that. Pastor Isaac Culver, thank you for being a great host that day. It was a great service. And then Monday, I'm missing staff meeting, which I never do. I wake up at 5 o'clock and have to hit the road by like 5:45 because I need to be in Terre Haute for the Indiana Cannabis Tour. Terre Haute is Vigo County. It's a
Well, and
solid.
you told me
3
you
hour.
worked all weekend. You had to go into City Hall and basically
Oh no!
get all caught
But
up.
keep in mind,
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about city
Right.
work. When I'm home on Saturday, I usually hit City Hall. Sunday, I hit City Hall just to like keep my head above water.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, take off. Vigo County, 3 hour solid. So I have to literally be on the
And
road
that
by
is a
6.
drive, man. Terre Haute on 41. Ugh.
Yeah.
So I get to Terre Haute, do the weed stop there, and then I have literally 3 hour drive ahead of me to get to Evansville. I do it, and then I do the weed stop in Evansville. It's a southern corner.
Southwest.
It's literally it's the toe of Indiana.
Southwest.
We're further south than Louisville there.
Yeah.
I have to turn around because we're getting an award from the Indiana Greenways Association, so I have to get back up to Indy. So I turn around and drive to Indy. 3 hours, 9 hours on the road that day. I drove from Hammond
a lot of time to
to
listen to
Evansville
podcasts.
to Indy, and then crashed in Indy. Okay, wake up the next day, give a speech in Carmel,
Get the award.
drive home, get the award,
Congrats,
drive home.
by the way, on that.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Trails and right, it was for bike trails and
Yeah,
greenways.
Indiana. I named us the per capita bike trail capital of Indiana.
I think you're not even naming. I think that's true. That's
I
what, Mitch
said that
Barloga.
in my speech that day. I was like, "Yeah, Hammond's the per capita bike trail capital." I go, "I don't know where we got that designation. We could have made it up." I'll
Mitch
be honest."
Barloga.
So,
I heard it was a very great, entertaining
John.
speech.
By the
I
way,
heard that from a couple people.
John and Kevin had a lot to do with that presentation, and I totally was a stand-up comic during that.
That's good. Also, Dean Button. Want to let
Thank you.
and
Markham.
Jimmy and
Markham
Matt
took drone
Markham and
shots,
Jim
yeah.
Taylor.
I'm not gonna. Jim Taylor felt a little snubbed, but you guys could
Yeah.
deal with that after.
We did.
He's like, I rode all over the bike trail. I took all these pictures. They used like 2 of them.
I said you gave us the inspiration, Jim,
Right.
and then we just made it into the final
It's
product.
true.
Yeah.
So
You inspired us to change your presentation.
So now I come back, have to go down and back on Wednesday. That was Tuesday. So on Wednesday, I go down and back to Indy for the Gold Circle meeting and the Firefighters Convention, which is why I'm wearing this shirt. And then, so I down and back to Indy on the same day is no fun, especially after working all day. And then I had to be up here this morning, obviously, yesterday morning for a proclamation for Annie Burns Hicks.
Also, really cool, right? For
Yeah.
those that know Hammond, Maywood School got renamed for the first African American teacher.
Right.
She's still alive, which is really cool.
Yeah, she's still alive. She was very young, in her 20s, and she sued the state of Indiana. Her lawyer, Richard Hatcher, his
Wow.
first case. So a civil rights pioneer in his own right, files a lawsuit on behalf of Annie Burns Hicks, who's literally like a 20-year-old young African-American teacher in like 1950s that wants to teach in Hammond. She has a graduate
How
degree,
cool.
all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Super educated.
Yeah.
It would have been controversial as an African-American male that wanted to teach, much less breaking barriers for women and for African Americans
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously. So she ends up prevailing, teaches in Hammond for 40-something years.
Yeah, and I
right?
think and they did a movie about that struggle.
Yeah,
I think
they
they
came
filmed
out
it last
last
night.
night.
Really
Right.
neat. Yeah.
So anyway, Annie Burns Hicks has the school named after her now, and their logo was the mascot is the bulldog, which I
love it.
found very fitting.
Love it.
Because
Love it.
she
Love it.
is
Sweet
a
lady.
bulldog. Yeah, she's a bulldog, though, because if she wasn't a bulldog, she
Yeah.
wouldn't have a school named after her right now.
Trailblazer.
And then last but not least, so this is all what I did in 1 week. Last night I went down and back to Carroll County for their monthly meeting. I was the guest speaker for that. I had Bernie drive me on that one. By the way, the drivers are all driving in their personal vehicles, of course. It's all off duty. They're not getting paid to drive me around.
All right.
They're getting mileage from the campaign is what they're getting. But that was a week, man. And I'm really happy to be home. I'm not BSing. It's like I have a whole new appreciation for being in the region. I'm just,
Well, welcome back.
yeah, man, it's tiring. Like going all over the state is,
And why don't we talk about what's going on today? Because there's a press conference today that's actually pretty neat.
yeah, it's really neat actually. It's a union press conference. It's being put together by the laborers. I know Kevin Roach is taking the lead on this.
David Fry.
David Fry
Yeah.
is coming from Indiana.
And he's the head of like the state LIUNA, right?
Yeah,
Which is
he's
really
the head
cool.
of State LIUNA, which is a huge organization. They're coming up here. We're doing it. If you're interested, it's at 11 o'clock in Hammond at the old. No, picture this because it's at the old INDOT testing facility.
Yeah.
which is basically the southeast corner of our city.
The furthest.
It's the furthest south you can go. The shot is going to be with Klein Avenue in the background.
Yeah, so if you know the service road, so if you've been to, I guess the best way to get there if you're interested, at least in my mind, would be Kennedy Avenue South. You go like where Byway and the hotels are and the
Keep
B-dubs
going
and
east.
just keep going on the service road
If
all
you really
the
wanna
way to Klein.
Go over by over where that strip club is. I don't know the name of it. But it's over
Fantasy.
Wow.
That was quick.
I mean, that was
Owned by,
instantaneous.
he's like, owned by Mr.
John's
and Mrs.
like, I better move my car that I left there last night.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll talk about it. With
John's
Amy.
like, you're going by fantasy? I got to get my car out of there.
Yeah.
Great wings for lunch.
Great
Let me
wings,
tell
yeah.
I actually
man.
would take Klein south to
That's
that
another way to get
stoplight.
there.
That's a good way.
You can do
You
that
go
too.
through
Right,
go
yeah.
through Highland. But at this press conference, Congressman Mervan's going to be there. Of course, myself is going to be there. David Fry coming up from Indianapolis to be at this, and he's like we mentioned, the statewide director of the laborers of Leona. Jerome Prince, Mayor Gary, obviously, who's going to be there, and then Senator Eddie Melton is going to be there as well, which should add an interesting dynamic because I don't think those two are exactly getting along very well right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
there's going to be a little tension in the air, I
We're gonna watch.
imagine.
Oh, this will be fun to watch.
Who coordinated that?
State Party did. I'm not sure if they were thinking like through the. There's going to be an interesting dynamic with those two gentlemen there. 'Cause
Maybe you'll have to stand in between them.
there's been some criticism going between the two of them that I've been listening to lately,
All right.
and it seems to me a
That's
build
a
up.
reason to show up.
It's like a build up, in my opinion, and you heard it here first. We tell you things on LOCPOD that you end up hearing, like we told you that Blair Milo was going to run for Congress months before she announced.
I am so curious how that Republican primary ends up.
I agree, man.
I am so curious. I thought it was going to be Blair Milo blows out the field.
Yeah, but I'm seeing
And
a lot
it
more
is-
Jennifer signs.
And by the way,
John,
and-
you probably get more of the mail than we do, right?
Not really. No.
And by the way, Leva is just. I mean, he's been there forever, so he's got a base. I'm not saying
I don't think so.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I've
just think
seen
it's
one
interesting.
sign.
For Leva.
Yeah, just,
I've seen a bunch of
I think
Levas.
he lives
Lindsay
in my
lives
city.
in
Lives in Highland, I think.
Lindsay lives in Griffith, so
Griffith.
Griffith or Highland.
what,
yeah.
what signs are you seeing? There's a lot of Republicans in your town.
I've seen a lot of Marissa signs.
No, I'm
but
talking
No, we're
about
talking about
the
the
we're talking
Republican
Republicans
primary.
specifically. I don't. There's not a lot of signs.
No Blair
that I've seen,
Milo,
though.
no Jennifer Ruth Green.
I've
Neither
seen-
of those. I've seen a lot of on my street at least. It's a lot of Democratic signs. So I saw a lot
live
of.
in a good
Ooh,
neighborhood, that's why.
wow.
I know.
And
Well, I've
especially
seen a
since
lot
Griffith
of
has
Oscar
been-
signs. Saw a lot of Marissa signs all over. I've seen a lot of. I think I've seen one Leva sign, and I think that.
Is Leva's house?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what
Let's
happens.
go through real quick.
I have a feeling because it's really big.
Let's go through. Let's make predictions right here on air. Okay.
I can't predict that race.
Okay, hold it. Who's going to win the sheriff's race?
Oscar.
No doubt in my mind.
I think Oscar's going to win.
I think Oscar easily wins. Even though he's facing legal difficulties, he still prevails. And then we'll deal with the
I
legal-
haven't seen any other signs for
Really?
anybody else running
Okay.
for
We
sheriff.
all on the same page on this one?
Yes.
How about
We're
Lake
in
County Clerk?
Local politics. Here we go.
How about Lake County Clerk? No,
I
these are
don't know.
just
I-
predictions. We're putting it on the record.
It's another tough one to call.
I'm going with Mike Brown.
I
think
would
Mike
say
Brown
Mike
wins.
Brown.
I
Yeah.
think it's going to be closer than people anticipate, though. I think Jesse Gomez is running a real good race.
Yeah, and I
Wow.
would, and there's no one's really talking about. I mean, clerk, the current clerk, the Judge Arredondo. I mean, he's still out there.
No, he's not.
He's a name that people know. I guess
It's like
is what I would
Weekend at
say.
Bernie's right now.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like he hasn't been seen in public.
No.
since-
I guess what I'm saying is that his name still people.
I agree,
know
but
I
his
have
like-
name.
seen Arredondo
I like
signs.
voting for people that are walking around and shaking hands and talking. I don't like voting for people that there's rumors that he can't even say one word. So, like, how could you vote for
No
him?
one knows what his medical condition
I like
is.
the clerk very much.
I
I'm
do
friends
too.
with him. To judge.
And by
He's
the
been
way-
an inspiration to my wife and a mentor to her.
Mike
as
Brown
in
did a
her-
great job when he was clerk.
I agree. Mike
Yeah.
Brown is a great guy. I mean, I'm not. I think
That's
going to
be an
win.
interesting race too.
I think he's going to win personally, but I do respect Jesse very much.
And
But
Jesse's running a good
I'm
race,
making a
so.
prediction
All right.
that he wins. So anyway, all right.
So, don't. By the way, that should just remind everybody. Don't forget to vote. You can vote early still around Indiana. Just check your local clerk's offices. In Lake County, you can vote today 9 to 3, tomorrow 9 to 3, and Monday till noon. And of course, Tuesday polls are open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Find out where you can vote at IndianaVoters.com. You can enter your information. They'll tell you where your precinct is and where your voting location is.
What's this new segment we got?
So
Are we gonna do election night coverage here? Like
Yeah.
we did
Well,
before.
no,
we're
No,
doing
because
election
we
morning
got-
coverage.
Right.
Yeah.
We're doing locked.
We're just going to do it during the day, John.
yeah.
Okay, so no
Election
no
night,
live
if we're gonna do
results
election
Election
coming
night,
in.
we're gonna be hanging out.
Election
listening to
night.
results.
Yeah, but like
Somewhere.
maybe in November we'll do election night results.
Well, if you're here, we'll see
You-
where you're
you
going.
will
I
not
doubt
be
you're going to
here.
be here.
I think where I am, that's where the party should be. I'm the one running.
I hope
it,
so.
right?
I hope there's a nice
pop-up.
party.
Yeah,
Pop-up
well-
Pop-up
live
pod.
stream. Yeah.
We're gonna
Pop-up pod.
party
We
in
could
the
do a
car,
pop-up
just
pod.
drive
Even if
between
we're
all
in
the
Indy, we could do a
counties and-
pop-up pod in Indy.
Yeah, just remember
A
the
little
results come
election day
in so
tour in
early.
Indiana.
So anyway, what's this new segment we're talking about?
Yeah, so we're going to do a new segment on LOCPOD.
Does Forite know about this?
No, he doesn't know yet.
All right. Gonna be
Forite,
fun.
here we go.
Ask Dr. Mike. So if you have questions for Dr. Mike, since they were coming in like crazy when he was on, we're going to take your questions. You can email them to steve@lockpod.com.
What's the
or
first
you can put them on the
question?
chat. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to
What
wait.
kind of rash is this?
There you go.
With
Send
pictures
photos.
attached.
Whatever you need. I
Ask
agree, Linz.
Dr. Mike.
And then we're gonna-
Is
we're
it
gonna-
hashtag Ask Dr. Mike?
Sure. Ask Dr. Mike. Send them to either on the chat or send them to
Okay.
steve@lockpod.com.
So if you do it right now, if you're on the chat right
Yeah.
now and you put in a question and hashtag Ask Dr. Mike, we will ask Dr. Mike that question. He'll give us a clip of his answer.
Yes, we're going to tape his answer.
And we'll make sure it's less than 5 minutes long because
That's
going
gonna
to
be tough.
long-winded.
We'll clip
Cannot
it.
This
guarantee
long-winded
that.
SOB. He'll go on for 10 minutes talking about like what happened during the
Deep
times of,
breathing.
yeah. At the,
Hey, deep
at the
breathing's
Last
good
Supper,
for your lungs.
you know,
Or the worms in the
Right.
poop. We'll go through that. It'll
It
all
works
kinds of
in your
great
poop.
things.
It happens.
And this will be like, this could be dating questions too.
Sure,
right?
anything you want.
Like relationship advice.
That was another good quote
Political-
by Dr. Mike.
political-
when he was
Be about
on.
anything.
I am
Sports.
without woman.
It doesn't have to be medical.
All right.
It's well warranted.
I was like, shocking.
Dr.
right now.
Mike, I love him. He's like a bro, right?
We
But let
love
me tell you
Dr.
something
Mike.
about Dr. Mike, and I'm going to embarrass him on the air. He has no game at all when it comes to women. None.
Really?
Negative
Come
game.
on.
I feel like he
Dude,
always
everybody
has
has.
girlfriends.
It feels like Dungeons and Dragons, and everybody have like factors for charisma and strength and intelligence and all that.
He's
No.
one of the most
If-
great characters I know.
But
He's
when it
very
comes to women,
charismatic.
his game goes like
Really?
he's super not shy. He's super out there. But when it comes to game with women,
Come on.
because the king's daughter wanted Dr. Mike, and I was trying to coach him through this whole. When I say the king's daughter, Elvis Presley's daughter.
Yes.
Was digging Dr. Mike.
Yes,
They had a text
remember that.
relationship going. And he showed me the text relationship. I'm like, dude, that's Elvis's daughter. And he's like, I know. And I'm like, she likes you, man. And he's like, I know. And I'm like, you gotta go. You gotta do this. That's Elvis's daughter, Mike.
Well, we know how it ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of the texts?
It was
This is so
suggestive.
awkward.
It was like John,
ripe
like-
with innuendo.
it was like you could tell she liked him, and he obviously liked her. They met during like an adjustment ceremony.
Adjustment ceremony?
It wasn't a ceremony. It was just an adjustment. Because Dr. Mike.
Just letting you know that
Adjustment
Dr. Mike is in the chat
ceremony.
listening.
What is an
actively
adjustment
right now.
ceremony?
It was an adjustment. He adjusted her, and then you know how Forite is.
Sure.
he did.
Like one adjustment takes 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Along with
chit-chatting.
right.
While
So
your
like
back's
after he
like in-
adjusts her, and then he's charming.
Yeah.
And he wears, and then like, but when it comes to the
He's
initial,
charming, but he's got no game.
the initial, he's very in on the initial.
Do that again.
And then when it comes to follow through, this
Falls apart.
I'm going to help him though.
All right.
That's where I come in.
Oh,
I'm
because you've
helping.
got game.
I was trying to help him with the Lisa Marie Presley thing. I was trying. It just didn't work.
Well,
Dad, are you insinuating you have more game than Dr. Mike?
Lindsay,
That's what I just heard. You
I
heard
am-
it here.
I have game.
I
Wow.
I'm a
disagree.
statewide candidate. My job is
he's
to
a famous
get people,
doctor.
to get people to charm me. He is a famous doctor, but like I think I can help him with his game.
All right.
That's what I'm going to do.
Well, let's find out what the first Dr. Mike question is. Please submit it to steve@lockpod.com or hashtag Ask Dr. Mike, and we'll try to get it
In the
answered
next show.
in the next 40 minutes.
So
All right.
give us a good Dr. Mike question. So anyway,
We got to do some ads.
all right. You looking for some marijuana? You looking for some legal cannabis? Well, where you buy it is legal, but if you drive 5 miles to the east, you'll suddenly become a felon and possibly be arrested in the state of Indiana. But I digress, because this is a commercial.
Someone's been
about-
on a weed tour.
This is a commercial about Mission Marijuana. Did you know that the state of Illinois made more in the tax off the cannabis last year than they did off taxes with alcohol?
That is a very interesting factoid.
Wow.
We don't want any of that money over here in Indiana.
No.
We'd rather keep arresting people.
We
for
don't want
it,
to
right?
help our farmers.
But anyway, if you were looking for the closest cannabis dispensary, like tonight, John Mayer's in concert in Chicago. So if you wanted to go see John Mayer, say you wanted to like eat a couple gummies, you could do this. I would suggest when you're driving out of Indiana, you stop on Torrance Avenue, you swing by Mission Marijuana, which is literally 5 minutes off the toll road. You walk in,
Off the
you get some
highway.
gummies, right? And then you get somebody to drive you to the United Center. You throw about 2 or 3 of those gummies down,
Yikes.
maybe 2, because you might be
Maybe
sleeping.
one
if
if
you do
you've
3.
never done it before.
Okay, with Kevin, you throw one down, right?
Not even.
Maybe
Yeah.
Kevin does a half, and then
I'd be
and then
asleep,
punishes
probably.
himself the rest of the night.
Be asleep. First song.
But anyway, Mission Dispensary is located right on Torrance Avenue in Calumet City, across the street from the River Oaks Mall on Torrance. Visit missiondispensaries.com to learn more. You could order online. You could order on iPad when you get there. It's super easy. It's quick. You'll be in and out in less than 10 minutes. And it's good from what I hear,
All right.
It's illegal for me to go over there and bring it home. But from what I hear,
If you're going to the
high quality
John Mayer
stuff.
concert tonight,
But if I was going to a John Mayer concert,
have at it.
I love John Mayer, but I really love it when he sings Dead. So I'd literally be going to listen to like 2 songs because I know he's going to bust out.
Might be worth it.
I know. I'm
You're
believe me.
thinking about it.
I'm open-minded.
Forite said, "Thank God I've got such supportive friends."
That's right.
And,
I'm here.
well,
I'm
here-
for its
I
game.
support you
Here's
for
what
it.
I like this quote, this comment. John Bowditch, if Dr. Mike wakes up in a castle, you've done your job.
That's right. Dr. Mike's never woken up in a castle. Well, he probably has,
I'm
actually.
sure he has,
Dr. Mike's
yeah.
got a crazy life. So
The Bug Guy Pest Control. As warmer temperatures approach Northwest Indiana, don't let ants, wasps, or spiders spoil your pool parties, backyard barbecues, or outdoor family gatherings. Help your guests enjoy a pest-free deck, patio, or pool area with a comprehensive pest control plan from The Bug Guy. Always professional, fast, and friendly without the big prices. Call today and tell the pests the Bug Guy is on the way.
The big bad bug guy.
There he is, coming to get rid of the pests at your home. To schedule your appointment, call Brian, 219-810-7481, or visit thebugguynwi.com. John and I were just talking about the bugs that we are seeing. So it's time to get the Bug Guy out there and get rid of him. I got to give him a call, actually.
I think we need a Bug Guy, like Eli song.
Oh,
the
Eli.
Bug Guy, listen up and don't
He's not
you
gonna
talk
use-
familiar.
he's not gonna use the same
Bugs
tune.
will be all
It could just be
dead.
the same tune, just different words.
Tom's
the
like, yeah,
exact
just
same
do the
song.
same.
The Bug Guy of NWI.
Bugs will be dead.
The bugs will die.
Yes. Spiders, wasps,
I'm just
ants.
spitballing here. I'm
You
just
know.
spitballing. We
Hey,
could
that's
build it
fine.
off of that.
What
Ron
is up,
J.
Eli?
Prestemer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, serving all of your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance projects and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. When he says much more, he is not BSing. He does our Festival of Lakes. He helps us with our insurance policy for the fest. Which
Among
is
other
like,
things. I mean, the guy,
Right.
I call him, I have clients that call and say, hey, what should I do with insurance? Hey, call the Preston Insurance
Dude,
Agency.
he's a jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
He literally insures us against rain during the fest. So, like, if you have an insurance need, I would go to Ron J. Prestemer, and they'll find a way to help you out. And they have access to tons of insurance agencies that can help you.
That's why it's nice. He's an independent insurance agent, so he can go to all different companies.
Prestemer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses all around the Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
So we got a new sponsor while you were gone. Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell and Cantrell a call. Schedule your consultation today with someone who's in court and at the jail every day.
He is.
By calling John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554 or 4LAW, or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com.
You know what's interesting about 554 Law? That's our
That's your
original
old
phone
number? Wow.
Yeah. Well, he
That's
started off
awesome.
with 864 Law. That's 4529.
I have my original number from when I was practicing in downtown Hammond at the Ruman Law Firm. We somehow got it.
4 Law?
933-7600.
Oh.
Yeah, same number we had from 27 years ago.
5544 Law. John and I started our first law firm. It was 864 Law.
And then you changed to 554-4LAW.
Yeah. But when we got to Hammond, we did.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I was talking to Johnny Law the other day, and I was telling him I was watching Better Call Saul and how much he reminds me of him. And I felt bad because I was like, Johnny didn't laugh or anything. And I was like, fuck.
Oh, no.
I hope I didn't
Offended
offend him because I was like being...
I compared him to a criminal.
No, but like I love Saul and Better Call Saul, and I was being like familiar with Johnny, and I was like, and he didn't really laugh, and I was like, shit, I hope I didn't offend him.
Better
right?
Call Cantrell.
probably
That's the law
stoned.
firm.
And
That's
now I
that's
look
the
at
website.
Now I look at his website, so
Better Call
obviously he
Cantrell.
identifies with that. Better Call Cantrell. It's great. But Johnny Law. If you see
It's
him on our
catchy.
show and you see how sharp he is and how like he could take a situation and make a legal argument out of it, if I was in big legal trouble, I would call John Cantrell because he's in court all the time, familiar with state criminal law, federal criminal law. When I say familiar, he's done thousands of cases. So if you want a good lawyer, Cantrell and Cantrell and his wife Kristen, definitely the brains of the operation.
Without a doubt. She's the behind the scenes, making sure things stay afloat.
Yeah, for like appeals and for like,
Yeah.
written
Great
motions
writer.
and all that. So between Johnny in the court and Kristen behind the scenes doing the motions and all that,
You got a good
Cantrell and
team.
Cantrell is a great criminal law firm. So
All right.
Yeah.
Is it true the original copy for that ad underwent some adjustments?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Field trips at the Challenger.
Let's get over that.
Field trips at Challenger NWI. Field trips at Challenger NWI. Good. I just read it as they come, guys.
Sorry.
Challenger Learning Center and Kendra Scott Jewelry have partnered up to host a virtual party online this weekend, April 29th and 30th. Get your mom or a graduate something special while supporting STEM education.
I hear this Kendra Scott jewelry is a thing. So that's why I
Yeah,
Imagine
what
it
is that?
Lindsay?
it's a thing.
Lindsay's our jewelry expert.
No.
Lindsay
I'm a
loves
jewelry- what, 'cause I'm a
jewelry. Look
girl?
at that
Yes.
nose.
Yes.
Look at the nose.
You got the nose thing going.
Yeah,
Oh, I have 2 rings
Kendra Scott jewelry.
and a I've watched. Who has the most jewelry on in here?
I watch.
Well, I mean, what
I've
you can
got-
see?
2 rings in my nose.
Who knows what
rings.
I've got
It's,
under?
it's Lindsay.
Kevin's got the nipple rings.
And Kevin's got.
Who knows what's on
1,
under
2,
this
3,
shirt?
4. Kevin with his nipple rings, he wins.
Yeah, I don't know. This isn't the kind of jewelry I wear.
Kendra
Scott?
Scott Jewelry. Couldn't they give you
Supposed to
nipple
be very
rings?
nice.
No, it looks
Kevin's
like it's very
Kevin's get green after
very
a while. He
classy
has to
lady
change them out.
jewelry, and I have nose
Copper.
rings.
It's like, is my nipple turning green?
That's what you do.
Oh,
when you
my
use,
nipple.
Oh,
when you-
yes,
when
send
you
that
use
question to
When
Dr.
you use
Mike.
copper nipple rings, that's
Yeah.
what happens.
Kevin learned these things.
Yeah, take
you
a
know.
picture and send it
The
to Dr.
patina,
Mike.
the
Steve
patina
at,
on the copper nipple rings is amazing.
Ask
Take
ask
a
Dr.
picture,
Mike.
send it to Steve at lockpod.com.
That's gonna be
Hashtag.
that's gonna be the first question.
Hashtag.
If my
Does this
nipple
look
rings
infected?
turn green,
Dude, I was at Fred's Lick one time, and Foret was supposed to go with us, and he didn't go.
Oh, boy.
And I was in. Yeah, I sent him this. I pulled up this rash off the internet, like a really bad rash, to like sensitive parts of your body, right? And I was like, "Hey, man, you know, I got this really bad rash," and I sent him the picture I clipped off the internet. And he was like, "Call me right now." I was like, "Dude, I was just kidding. That wasn't me." He was like, "I was going to tell you to fly home." It's like you're going to lose some stuff if you don't get home immediately.
call me. See,
Call,
but that you
call
know what?
me
though?
right now. Don't put
That-
it in writing.
But that is Michael because he
Yeah.
does care, and he
Yeah.
would be like, "Call me right." You know,
He sees this picture. He's
Absolutely.
like, "Call me immediately. This is serious."
Yes.
So, hey, we got something serious to talk about. We're not talking about rashes and sensitive parts. This is something that came out with our U.S. Senator Michael Braun.
Speaking of rashes,
Speaking of rashes, itchy, annoying rashes. Yes. Mike Braun came out with a statement yesterday talking about, he actually,
some reaction to the president, right?
the president is, and this is something I'm interested in your guys' opinion, Lindsay and John, okay? The president of the United States is contemplating loan forgiveness for everybody that has student loan
Good.
debt.
Of federal,
I had
of
a feeling-
federal student loans like Pell Grants.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things
but
like
which
that.
are
Not
most
private
which are
loans,
most
but-
student loans, not private loans. Who's getting private loans? Seriously. So anyway,
think it
so
happens.
this is up to he's contemplating up to $10,000 in student loan forgiveness right now.
Okay.
And then there's some more progressive ideas out there being pushed from further left that are like eliminate all student loan debt like right now, right? Mm-hmm. And Mike Braun came out with a statement that was interesting. He filed legislation Thursday, so he floated a bill in the U.S. Senate Thursday aimed at preventing Democratic President Joe Biden from taking unilateral action to forgive any portion of the $1.6 trillion in student loan debt owed to the federal government by some 43 million Americans. His argument basically was, why should Hoosiers and other Americans that didn't go to college pay for the student loan debts of the people of the 20 to 25% of Americans that did go to college, pointing out that it's not really fair, which is an interesting argument.
It is really, and a couple things, just some background on this. I think one, obviously, he wouldn't have floated this if Trump was president, but that's, I mean, that neither here nor there.
But would Trump be considering
Right,
forgiving
exactly.
student loan
Well,
debt?
and that's the other thing I want to remind everybody that Trump started, and I'm not necessarily against this, but Trump started during his presidency stopping student loan interest
Right.
During COVID.
because
And
they
it
weren't
has-
going to school.
Correct,
Right.
correct. But this is a different issue. This is about student loan debt and forgiveness.
Right.
And that's a whole, I think it's opening a big can of worms.
I do too.
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable. And I imagine my daughter who has student loan debts is
Hello.
completely open-minded to this idea.
100%.
Because, I mean, how much
Because
do
I'm
you
going
mind?
to college
do you have
for the second time.
Do you have more than $50,000 in student loan debt?
When I graduate, yes, I will.
So let me ask you a question, Lindsay. Knowing that this possibility is out there, because there's serious talk about not just 10,000, there's talk from further left that they would eliminate all your federal student loan debt, which is most of your debt.
Yeah.
I imagine that'd be wonderful for you, walking out of nursing school with no debt, and then you're going to walk into a huge salary, and you don't have to worry about spending any of your new salary on debt that you accumulated.
Well, also, like, because I'm going to school full time, I have my loans deferred right now, so that's just gaining interest. I'm adding more loans on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who have been, I mean, Brian has been out of college for, I'm not going to put a number on it, but a while, and he's still paying off his loans. I have people, I know people who are in their 50s who are still paying off their loans.
Let me ask you a question.
How is that any different than what we all did? I mean, I paid off my loans in my late
you paid
40s.
off your loans. I
Late
paid off
40s. I mean, it was 20-some years.
Marissa and I had $150,000 in loans between the two of us, and we chipped away.
And by the way, when I got out of law school, the interest rate was 8% of my loans.
Oh, yeah.
8%.
Mine was up there.
Now when kids get out of school, it's like 3%, 2%.
So let me ask you a question, though. I think is important. So let's say, Lindsay, Brian had an extra $50,000 in the bank, and he could easily use that $50,000 to pay off his. I'm just throwing numbers out there.
And then he'll have no money for
and then,
any other.
Let's say Brian has $50,000 in student loan debt, and he has $50,000 saved up.
Okay.
And he's like, you know what? I'm going to pay off my student loan debts. And then he hears something like this, and he's like, maybe I shouldn't pay off my student loan debt. Maybe I should sit on my $50,000 and let Uncle Joe
invest. Yeah.
Let Uncle Joe and the federal government forgive my debts, and then I'm $50,000. Like, are you a sucker? In Brian's case, if you spend money and pay down your debt, and then they come along 6 months later and they forgive all student loan debt.
Well, how about this? How about the fact that, like, I have saved since my kids were born and set up 529s for each of them.
I know you did.
I have every year put money in, money in. Income that I could have saved, used, vacationed.
You could have started bad habits. You could have gambled with it.
Vices, cocaine habit. Who knows? Anything.
You could have started a lot of bad habits with that.
I could have had a lot
Instead,
of fun with that
like
money.
Chipping away.
Instead, I was like, you know what? When and God love my parents. They did everything they could to help me get through college with as little debt as I had, and then law school was on me. But I mean, for my kids, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to save and make sure that when they leave college, they don't have student debt. And so far, I've been successful at doing that. And so, in a way, I'm like, well, why? I could have give me that money back. If you're going to forgive, let me make sure all the kids that went to school that had 529s and their parents paid for their college, give their parents some money back.
I don't know.
Is that going to happen?
No.
I don't really like the whole argument that I had to struggle, so we shouldn't make life easier for future generations.
Let me ask you a question then, young lady.
I think that's kind of a weak argument.
Did you like the Trump tax cuts?
I didn't.
No.
I didn't experience.
I did not
any
like
kind
the
of,
Trump tax cuts.
Why didn't you like them, Kevin?
I'm not rich enough.
Lindsay?
It didn't impact me at all.
But like this is like the progressives' version of the Trump tax cuts, and I'm going to tell you why it is. Okay, it's targeted. Like only a small sliver of Americans are going to experience the benefits of loan forgiveness.
Yeah, and is it going to harm anybody else?
Well, how about
sure.
this?
What about the national debt's inflated because of the money that they've given
The
out?
national debt's always inflated.
Well,
sure.
It's getting worse then. But how about this? Let's say I'm a high school senior and I go to college next year. And then everybody this year gets their student loans forgiven. And then I start college next year and I start racking up student loans. It's bullshit.
So that kind of
right?
counters your argument
you can make the same argument about college bound. Is
They
that
did
all
make
these
that argument.
kids are going to go to college for free and
right.
I have to pay because I live outside the city?
They did make that argument.
I know, but like you're making that same argument that people
didn't
made
stop you
against
from doing it.
Yeah,
No,
it didn't stop you from doing it. So
But
it's
the
not going to
argument
stop.
will be made.
It's not going to stop people from trying
Let me
to
ask you a
forgive
question
student
though.
loans.
Is this going to be a regular thing or is it just a one-time benefit? Like everybody that has student loan debt now, you're super lucky because we're going to forgive your debt. Are we 10 years from now going to do the same thing for people that rack up debt for the next 10 years? Is this going to be like every 10 years we're just going to forgive everybody's student loan debt? Because that needs to be talked about. Or why don't we just talk about the bigger problem is college is unaffordable.
Let's make college free.
College is unaffordable. Maybe we should be talking about making college free.
They do it in Europe.
I'd
right?
love to do
You can go to
that.
the best colleges in Europe
That's
for
what
free.
I'm saying.
You know what?
Maybe
I think
that
that's
should
a
be
great
discussion.
idea.
Because
100%.
instead of forcing us to take up huge loans to go to college,
The
make
colleges
it free.
that you and I went to are over $80,000 a year now. Think about that.
I'm going to a community college right
that's
now.
That's outside
It
of
could be
people that
free.
are wealthy, I
Yeah.
think, realm
Dude,
to say.
my biggest fear is one of my kids would get accepted to Notre Dame.
And then you're $320,000.
That was my
in
biggest
debt.
fear because I would feel obligated to send them there, and then we'd be broke.
Yeah.
I mean, how much
crazy.
is Notre Dame a year?
That's what I just said. It's like
70,000.
80,
Oh,
70,
it's like
between
80,
70 and
okay.
80 grand.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
So,
crazy.
And by the way,
I
a lot of
didn't
these
even apply.
universities have all these tax breaks to get the endowments are not tax. I mean, if you want to look at something, look at higher education, and you want and say make it free.
This is just a
That's fine with
knee-jerk
me.
reaction. This is a
Yeah.
knee-jerk reaction.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I could support something like that because I don't think it's fair. Like, and I don't like the Trump tax cuts because they're targeted towards the wealthy. I don't really love this either because it's targeted to people that have student loan debt, which is literally 20% of our population, if that high. So the other 80%, you're fucked.
To me, one of the things to look at is, and in a way, I mean, it's kind of like, the Republicans complain when Democrats try to help people. The Democrats complain when Republicans help corporations, right? So, It's like, don't forget, right? We don't have to go far back to understand that we don't live in a true free market capitalist economy, right?
And you're never going to make a decision that impacts 100%
If you go to 2008, you see the AIG and the Goldman Sachs bailout, right? Because of the mortgage crisis. You go to 2010, you see Obama bailing out the auto industry. And Trump bailed out farmers during the tariffs and things like that. So the invisible hand doesn't exist. We have a government bailout economy that either it's going to be big corporations, rich people.
What did they call
students,
the packages during COVID? They called that
PPP.
PPP.
There you go.
Yeah,
I mean, that bailed out businesses, gave money away
to people.
They ran businesses.
People were getting checks from the government because there was a pandemic. I mean, so you're right, Kev. I mean, it's not a true democracy. It's not a
free market economy.
Free market economy.
So when people say socialism, it's like, okay, well, look around. It's not just students or it's automakers. It's huge Wall Street companies. So I mean, that's the way we've become. It's a bailout economy. So interesting.
What do you think, John, Mr. Quiet Guy?
I was just taking it all in. I think
you and I are on the same page on this, right? I thought we would be.
No, let's see.
Do you have student loans, John?
Yeah.
Wow! Look at this guy. Mm-hmm. He's conflicted.
No. But I don't think
you're siding with Joe Biden, aren't you?
No. I think
you're siding with President Biden.
Talk.
Yes, I want to hear what John has to say.
I think you guys made a lot of really good points about the problems with this, but I also think a lot of kids get into a lifetime of debt. And they're just kids when they take this money.
Yeah, they're like 18 signing documents saying that they're going to spend the next 30 years of their life paying back these loans.
When I was 18, I signed documents to give away 6 years of my life.
Yeah, 6 years.
You're 18.
We're talking 30 years.
You're 18. You're an adult.
I went to college the first time. I took out loans, and then I ended up not going into a job that my degree supported. Like,
Lindsay,
here
it's
I am.
interesting because
I'm going to school again.
Lindsay, you pointed out something that usually I'm usually very against people, and I caught myself doing it. You pointed it out where it's like, well, just because you didn't have to do it, that doesn't mean other people, right? And that's kind of what I just argued a little bit, and you pointed it out. And that's an interesting argument because I hate being the guy that says, well, I didn't have a sore back.
I had to
so
suffer, so
right.
You have to suffer.
And you're
it's
right
only
about
fair.
You're right about that.
That's
so
weak. I don't like
I
it.
would support
why don't we
it needs to be like retroact, like people like Kevin who have paid it off need to get like a
give me
massive
tax credit.
tax break.
Right.
Yeah,
give me it.
And then what that
I'm
does
serious.
to the price tag, because the price tag is like 1.6 billion
Can you
now.
imagine?
Trillion, excuse me,
Oh.
1.6 trillion. And if we added that, it turns into like 10 trillion.
Oh, it'd
and
be
it's
insane.
completely. So like you can't go backwards
But
because
then
the cost it's
you
cost
also got to
prohibitive.
think of like some of these loan companies like Fannie Mae that are like in a lot of legal trouble and issues because of their predatory ways of getting kids to sign for all these massive amounts of loans. And it's
For the most part, college
it is
loans are
predatory.
federal now, right?
Anybody that went to Trump University, their loan should be forgiven.
Oh, 100%, definitely.
They should be slapped across the face.
Your loans are forgiven.
You are forgiven. All right, well, welcome back, Locomotive. That
See,
was
it's
fun.
not all BS
Yeah,
on
man.
our show. We talk about real stuff too.
That's right. We just don't talk
It's
about
infotainment.
Chief Crick.
It's Chief Crick, Chief Hemphill. I remember you. I won't forget Chief Crick or Chief
I got to be in
Hemphill.
court in 15
Whoa,
minutes.
long show.
So I got to
Oh,
make you
It
wrap
was
it
a
up.
long
yeah,
show.
let's
We love
go.
you guys. Missed you. I am back on the air. I'm not planning on missing any shows. So I will see you at the
Election
next show.
day.
Election Day, where we have a special guest that could be Marissa McDermott at the beginning of the show. And then we have a special guest at the end of the show, which is Mike Andrade. And I heard Eli's
Rep
coming in.
Andrade.
So we're going to have some music. We're going to
Can't
have
believe
some.
you guys are going to have like all of those people and I won't even be here.
We're having a celebration, Lindsay. You're more than welcome to stop
Wait,
by.
I think
because
I
Lindsay's
might-
not here.
No, I think I might actually be able to make it. I have
There
to
you
look
go.
at my
Come by.
schedule.
We have
All
a,
right.
Because
let's
I
go.
have my final
Let's have a
done
full
by then.
family affair that day.
Oh boy.
We'll have the
It's
whole
a
crew here.
family affair.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Kevin Smith, good to see you. Sorry I missed your birthday.
No worries. You
Yeah.
called me.
I
Oh,
did
you're
call
on the
you.
road.
I
You're on
did
the
call
road.
you. I
Yeah.
was on the road. It was your fault I was on the road. Notorious LMP, my beautiful daughter. Good to see you, baby.
Thanks.
Jay Vez, awesome show.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And, of course, coming from the Locomotive, I'm back on the air and happy to be here. Talk to y'all later. I'll see you on Tuesday for Election Day. Don't forget to vote. Take care, everybody. LOCPOD out.